guys, welcome to week 2 of fiction. You did a great job this first week in the forums. I saw a lot of really good discussion and responses. So just keep doing that. Keep going and keep getting more in depth and trying to interact meaningfully with your peers. Um, you'll notice in this week's forum, I have assigned, and also you'll see these stories in the forum, not quite everything that's on your reading list. So everything that's on your reading list is fair game for any writing assignments. So if something's on the text list in your syllabus and I don't formally assign it or have it in the forums, you can still use that story um, in the future for any writing assignments if a story really stood out to you. So again, those are kind of optional, the stories that are on the text list but that aren't in formal assignments. So this week in the forums, continue, kind of in this trajectory. Your first posts, one for each story. So respond to one prompt for each story by Sunday at midnight, and then your response post by Wednesday at noon. So kind of be sure to keep those deadlines in mind. Also, this week, start to try to quote from the text in the forum. Some of you might have a lot of practice doing this already. Some of you, this might be new. I've included a PowerPoint for this week, kind of an introduction to MLA citation. If this is all new to you, the Little Brown Handbook, if you have it, or the OWL website that I've linked to, both are very helpful. Just some things to look out for. Avoid dropped quotes. So a quote from a story cannot stand on its own as its own sentence. It needs to be propped up by your words. So introduce it. The author says, comma, and then the quote, and then the in-text citation in parentheses. So kind of get used to that. Get used to integrating those quotes into your own analysis, even in the forums, and that will make writing papers easier down the road. So just start practicing doing that. This week you have kind of 2 assignments beyond the readings. The first, I have included 2 PowerPoints, one about plot and structure and one about characterization. So these are 2 literary elements that we read for as we analyze literature. And those go along with your first writing assignment, which I've included a short story worksheet. And if you open that up as a Word document and kind of fill in the blanks, use that document to type the rest of the assignment, just save it as something your own, your last name and the assignment, for example. So the first page, you'll choose the short story that you're working with, and you're going to kind of diagnose who the main characters are, and also show the major plot points, the 4 C's. And on the second page of that Word document is where some definitions are that you can find. And then you're going to kind of focus on either plot or character or characters and do a mini analysis of that short story. So work on that. Again, look at the PowerPoints first, kind of when you choose your short story, annotate your text, look through that lens as you're looking at the story, whether you're focusing on character or plot structure. Kind of imagine putting on different pairs of glasses as you're reading to look for certain things. The second part of your assignment is I've included a PowerPoint about literary versus commercial fiction. And this is something that authors and people in the publishing industry don't 100% agree on oftentimes, but it's an interesting discussion. The kind of writing that's written to be read by the masses, so very, very popular literature that makes a lot of money, blockbuster Hollywood movies, versus literary fiction, which is a lot of what we'll read this semester, that demands a lot of attention and analysis and not something that you'd maybe read on the beach, or indie movies that you can only see if you go into St. Louis to a Landmark Theater. So it's interesting to kind of think about the different kind of fiction that exists, and obviously that bleeds over into other kinds of entertainment, television and film, etc. Um, and just think about that. Everyone has their own definition. I know for me, if I'm reading a book and I don't need a pen in my hand, which isn't very often, but if that happens, I'm probably reading commercial fiction because it's not demanding my attention, that I underline things and I kind of think further about what's on the page. It's more just for entertainment. So think about that as you go along this week. And the writing assignment that goes with that is, it can be first person point of view, just kind of a personal response, kind of thinking about commercial and literary fiction in your own life, something that you enjoy, something that you've diagnosed as such. And again, it can be television or film. And then kind of discussing the value of each of those kinds of literature or literary forms. So again, that's kind of a personal response. It can be first person point of view, and that should be about 2 pages typed. So both of these assignments will be Word documents, and you will upload them on the assignment link. So those are your main goals this week. A note about grades: if on a quiz that you take, which you won't have quizzes very often, we write more in this class instead of just being quizzed, but if there's ever a short answer, an essay question, those aren't graded until I manually grade them. So your grade won't be 100% accurate until I manually grade. And the same goes for grades. If you check your grade in Moodle, if there are points available for something, but you haven't turned it in yet and it hasn't been graded, that's going to really skew what your grade looks like. So hopefully you can kind of look at what's been graded and what that looks like and figure your grade from there, because I think that the grade book is a little bit misleading since it takes into account the points that haven't been graded. And should be caught up on grading your forum posts and that introductory assignment by tomorrow afternoon, by Thursday afternoon. So if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Otherwise, just be working hard this week, reading and writing and really digging in to what we read and thinking hard and thinking critically about what we read and kind of the world of fiction that surrounds you. Let me know if you need anything. Have a good one.